Murat Nurtliyev, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan. His Excellency Mr. Sirozuddin Mohiruddin, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan. His Excellency Mr. Jaishankar Keynotes, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic. His Excellency Mr. Bakhtiyor Saidov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan. And ladies and gentlemen, representing FICCI, we have Mr. Subrakant Panda, the past President FICCI, and Mr. Vipul Tuli, the Chair FICCI Renewable Energy Committee. And ladies and gentlemen, as we commemorate this historic moment of regional partnership and dialogue, let's capture this in our cameras. We have the group photograph. May I request the honorable ministers and the dignitaries on the dais to please come together for a group photograph. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that captures the spirit of regional cooperation, economic partnership, and enduring friendship between India and the Central Asian countries. This photo reflects our shared vision of progress and prosperity that binds India with Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Excellencies, our honorable ministers, and other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and all our very esteemed guests, special invitees. Welcome to all of you to the India-Central Asia Business Council meeting on behalf of the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, and on behalf of FICCI. And ladies and gentlemen, as we come together towards strengthening and further advancing our economic cooperation and regional friendship, that comes with a stronger commitment of sustainable development and shaping a more greener planet. So at the very outset, as we express our gratitude and appreciation to our leaders for joining us and for guiding us today, we welcome them by presenting them the Green Certificate. And as FICCI, ladies and gentlemen, is a nodal agency coordinating and further driving the agenda of the Council, may I request Mr. Subrakant Panda, the past President of FICCI, to please present the Green Certificates. First, welcoming Dr. S. Jaishankar, the Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Government of India. Ladies and gentlemen, today is also the World Environment Day. Committing ourselves to sustainable development, welcome to His Excellency Mr. Murat Nurtliyev, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan. A green welcome to His Excellency Mr. Sirozuddin Mohiruddin, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan. Welcoming His Excellency Mr. Jaishankar Keynotes, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, FICCI is going to be planting 10 trees, a grove of 10 trees on behalf of the dignitaries at Trees for Ecotourism, Sikkim, India. Welcoming His Excellency Mr. Rashid Meredov, the Deputy Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkmenistan. And welcome to His Excellency Mr. Bakhtiyor Saidov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan. And may I now request Mr. Subrakant Panda, the past President FICCI and the Managing Director of Indian Metals and Ferroalloys Limited, to please open the dialogue with his welcome remarks.
Dr. S. Jaishankar, Honorable Minister of External Affairs of India, His Excellency Mr. Murat Nurtliyev, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Mr. Jaishankar Keynotes, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic, His Excellency Mr. Sirozuddin Mohiruddin, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan, His Excellency Mr. Rashid Meredov, Deputy Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkmenistan, His Excellency Mr. Bakhtiyor Saidov, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Uzbekistan, senior government officials, diplomats, business leaders, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to extend a warm welcome on behalf of FICCI to everyone present here today for the India-Central Asia Business Forum. The presence of the esteemed ministers underscores the importance of this multifaceted relationship between India and Central Asia, which spans business, trade, and commerce. And this forum looks to strengthen the historical ties through dialogue and collaboration. As you would all know, that ties between India and Central Asia is rooted in history, going back several millennia to the Indus Valley civilization. And while diplomatic relationship was established more than 3 decades ago and looks to build on the rich legacy to create tangible economic outcomes. In this context, the India-Central Asia Business Forum serves as a platform to strengthen existing areas of cooperation and, of course, explore new avenues. This is a forum for strategic engagement. It underscores India's commitment to strengthen economic ties with Central Asia, with a particular emphasis on energy, infrastructure, agriculture, technology, and tourism. If I were to talk about trade, India's trade with the Central Asian countries has reached $1.2 billion in 2024-25, with exports growing by nearly 25%, although imports declined marginally. And needless to say, I think this is just the tip of the surface, and there is much more that we can do to realize the full potential of trade between India and the Central Asian region. This can happen primarily through through initiatives like, focused on connectivity, where projects like the International North-South Transport Corridor and the Chabar Port aim to improve access between India and the region, which will then, of course, have a multiplier effect on trade. Similarly, there is the potential for digital infrastructure collaboration. Again, as you would know, India is truly a leader in terms of digitalization, and it has leapfrogged its traditional constraints by investing heavily in digital infrastructure with a focus on enhancing ease of doing business as well as the ease of living. And this has offered to provide its Unified Payments Interface or UPI platform to Central Asian nations. Again, as I was mentioning, UPI is probably the shining star of what India has been able to achieve with its digitalization initiatives, and it today accounts for more number of transactions on a daily basis than perhaps Europe, China, etc. combined. If I were to talk about sector-specific cooperation, proposals include the creation of an India-Central Asia Rare Earths Forum to foster partnerships in this critical domain, which is on top of everybody's mind. And there are many other sectors like pharma, textiles, mining, etc., where Indian companies could also participate in the region by way of both investments as well as technology transfer. I talked about tourism. To dwell on that a little bit more, people-to-people ties are, of course, crucial to strengthen any relationship. And the leaders have emphasized the importance of cultural exchanges, increased tourist flows, investment in tourism infrastructure, and organization of conferences and seminars as the means to ensure that there is greater flow of people between India and the Central Asian region, leading to greater understanding of each other. There is, of course, institutional support for this relationship. It's not just the India-Central Asia Business Council and the India-Central Asia Business Forum, which are vital platforms in itself for networking, collaboration, and business opportunities. But together, they also complement the India-Central Asia Dialogue and Summit, which is organized by the Ministry of External Affairs in India to support this relationship. And it was under that aegis that 4 joint working groups were established, focusing on energy, agri and food processing, textiles, and pharmaceuticals. And these have indeed facilitated targeted collaboration and speeded up project implementation. If I were to talk about next steps, today's interaction serves as a precursor to the upcoming India-Central Asia Business Dialogue, which, as I said, is organized by the External Affairs Ministry of India, and this marks a significant milestone in our shared journey towards deeper economic engagement and mutual prosperity. Let us therefore collectively assess the progress thus far and work towards establishing an even more robust framework for fostering greater collaboration amidst an evolving global scenario. In conclusion, I would like to state that the India-Central Asia Business Council must look to pave the way for revitalizing the new Silk Route, thereby strengthening the historical, cultural, and economic ties between India and the Central Asian regions. FICCI, which is India's oldest apex business chamber with a vast outreach, especially amongst small and medium enterprises across the country, is committed to facilitating greater economic engagement between businesses on both sides. Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity to address this distinguished gathering of policymakers, diplomats, and business leaders from across India and Central Asia. And I hope that there will be many meaningful discussions and impactful outcomes as a result of today's engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Panda, for highlighting the immense opportunities of greater collaborations and partnerships between India and the Central Asian countries and the very significance of this meeting. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to be inviting a charismatic leader, a dynamic statesman who has been steering our foreign policy with clarity and purpose, and who has been instrumental in deepening of greater understanding and collaborations with the Central Asian countries, our extended neighborhood as we call, and further, whose thought and mind has been this council. He inaugurated this council in 2020 February. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen, as I request Dr. S. Jaishankar, the Honorable External Affairs Minister, Government of India, for his address.
My very distinguished colleagues from Central Asia, Shri Shubhrakant Panda, Shri Vipul Tuli, ambassadors, distinguished business representatives, delegates, friends. Namaskar, good day, Dobry Večer. It's a great pleasure to join you all at the India Central Asia Business Council. I thank Vicky, the organizers, for their excellent arrangements. Friends, the presence of Indian and Central Asian business participants in such significant numbers today is a sure indicator of mutual interest in forging stronger B2B ties between India and Central Asian nations. It is also a statement of the importance that business communities in all our countries attach to this business council. Today's meeting seeks to discuss and explore new opportunities and complementarities between our respective economies. Now, India's trade and economic ties with Central Asia over the last decade have actually shown a very strong positive trend. Mutual trade was less than $500 million a decade ago in 2014. And I must tell you, Mr. Panda, our numbers are a little higher than yours. So what we have collectively is actually a trade volume which is almost touching $2 billion. However, this figure does not reflect the full potential. The need to address this is today even more urgent because of the uncertainties of the international economy. And this requires governments and business to work together in tandem, which is why all of us are here in this room. Now, with that broad context, let me highlight three objectives before us. One is to deepen the existing cooperation, both in terms of volume and in terms of quality. There's already, I think, a recognition in each other's countries, in each other's economies, of the players and of the products. But we must build further on that foundation. And a very good example here is actually of the pharmaceutical sector. Two, we need to diversify our trade baskets so that all of us have more options, we have more competition, and in a way we are looking for new opportunities. And I would like our friends from Central Asian economies to appreciate that an economy today which is bigger, which is in excess of $4 trillion, which is growing at 6 to 8% annually, it will create new demands for products, for services, and even I would say in a way new demands out of more prosperous lifestyles. So there are many things we could be doing, we should be doing, which perhaps we have not looked at in the past. So this looking beyond the currently traded goods and services is essential really to envisage and realize new opportunities. And the third is that we need to introduce greater sustainability and more predictability in our economic interactions. And that means more long-term contracts and arrangements, cross-investments, joint ventures, and certainly sectors like energy, whether we are talking uranium, whether we are talking crude oil, even potentially gas, whether we are looking at mining, if you are talking about coal, or if we are discussing fertilizers. I think these are all relevant examples to reach really long-term understandings between us. So how do we do this? And I have five solutions here really to suggest. One, we look at the digital economy and innovation. I think Mr. Panda also dwelt on it. We are meeting at a time when e-commerce platforms, blockchains, cross-border digital payments are transforming the way the world interacts, trades, and affects payments. And India would be very happy to partner on about platforms like the UPI, like Aadhaar, like DigiLocker with our Central Asian partners. And certainly greater use of digital technologies and AI applications will help us unlock the full potential of our trade and economic ties. And I would also add that it will be a great help to our tourists, to our students, to our medical travelers, and I think, colleagues, this is something that we have discussed this afternoon. The second solution lies in the field of financial services. And here I would say closer engagements between our banks and financial sector will definitely strengthen our economic interaction. Some beginnings have been made in terms of opening of special rupee Vostro accounts in Indian banks by Central Asian banks. There's also been some discussion about use of UPI, Unified Payment Interface. I would certainly support that very strongly, as also the steps we could take to facilitate mutual settlement of trade in our national currencies. The third, which I referred to earlier, is healthcare and pharma. Today, India supplies about 60% of generic medicines globally. And pharmaceuticals certainly is one of our most important exports to Central Asia. But what we need to do is really to strengthen cooperation, especially between our drug regulators. And we could also look at covering medical services, including hospitals, clinics, and diagnostic centers, as also the supply of medical equipment and medical devices. The fourth issue, of course, is something we have debated for some years now. How do we improve our connectivity? Because that has been a big obstacle. And I hear talk about both land and air connectivity. So what this means is more resources and effort in the INSTC, the International North-South Transport Corridor. Greater use of Chabahar port will surely reduce travel distance and costs. We are discussing this in a joint working group on Chabahar under the India Central Asia platform. But I would really urge FICCI to discuss with its members and discuss with the other chambers, the Central Asian chambers, whether, how do we better address logistical challenges and present, if possible, recommendations to us in the next few months. And I should also add that we need to expand our air services and we need to create a competitive environment for goods transportation. And fifth, we need to streamline transit procedures. India and all the Central Asian countries, we are all members of the UNTIR Carnet system. FICCI is the prime nodal agency in India for this system. And every Central Asian country has its own nodal agency. So the question before is, can we simplify customs procedure using the TIR Carnet to ease the flow of goods across borders? And again, can all the chambers get together and give us a consolidated roadmap or a recommendation in this regard. So friends, in addition to all of these, I think you would agree that tourism, education, films, cultural exchanges, these are all important. They should be tapped for their economic and business potential. I would certainly urge all the chambers and their representatives to do more frequent exchanges, particularly sector-specific business delegations. And we would welcome more inputs from the chambers. We would welcome more recommendations. How do we grow business? I certainly hope that we would get it in time, because at sometime in the not so distant future, we would like to see a leaders summit between India and the Central Asian Five. Now, tomorrow we will be holding the 4th edition of the India Central Asia Dialogue at our level, at the foreign ministers level. And we will be deliberating on ways to further deepen our cooperation, especially the economic dimensions of our relationship. I would hope that from today's meeting, from the deliberations of the Business Council, very specific recommendations are made available to us. I wish the Business Council all success. And once again, I would like very much to appreciate the fact that my counterpart colleagues from Central Asia have all taken the time from busy schedules. They've come here in time to participate at this council meeting. I think that itself sends a very serious and a very positive message to all of you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, sir, for guiding the Council and this forum. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the special remarks by our esteemed foreign ministers from the Central Asian Republics. May I first request His Excellency, Mr. Murad Nurtliu, the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan.
Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening. At the outset, I thank His Excellency Dr. Jaishankar, the Minister for External Affairs of India, and the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry for the excellent organization of this Central Asia-India Business Forum. A gracious presence of so many leading Indian companies in this six-lateral platform is a vivid demonstration of our shared commitment to further enhance multifaceted economic cooperation, both on bilateral and multilateral tracks. Today, the Indian business community is at the forefront of innovations and plays a crucial role in global efforts to ensure sustainable growth and prosperity for all nations. Kazakhstan is firmly committed to deepening its comprehensive ties with India, which is our key strategic partner in the South Asia and far beyond. Our forward-looking relations are deeply rooted in common history, strong culture, and economic ties. So, political-wise, we are like-minded countries. Business-wise, we are natural partners. Despite last year's bilateral trade decreasing down to $1 billion, we have all opportunities to get back on track to increase it up to $3 billion in the nearest future. During the same period, Indian overall investments in the Kazakh economy grew by a remarkable 41%, surpassing $500 million in 2024. Yet, we believe this is the only tip of our huge potential, especially on the background of our nation's indispensable role in many strategic areas. Kazakhstan is well positioned to boost up natural synergies with India in trade connectivity, critical mineral dialogue, energy security, digital sector, and humanitarian ties. India is currently the fastest growing economic powerhouse, and according to some experts, very soon your country can become the third largest economy of the world. Kazakhstan is ready to be a reliable long-term partner for India in achieving its ambitious goal under the Viksit Bharat program by increasing supplies of strategic energy resources, steel and metals, rare earth minerals, food and agricultural products. Thus, we see enormous advantages from the development of the North-South International Corridor as proposed by Kazakhstan's President, Mr. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, at the first C5 India Summit in 2022. Furthermore, Kazakhstan is modernizing its transport and logistics infrastructure along the Middle Corridor. So far, the government of Kazakhstan has invested more than $35 billion into the development of our infrastructure, connecting east and west and north and south. There is room for developing multimodal transport links, fiber optic cables, and regional power grids. Ladies and gentlemen, inspired by India's impressive path, my country is emerging as a leading tech and IT hub in Eurasia. Kazakhstan is recognized as a top 25 country by the United Nations in adopting digital technologies. We could jointly work on research and development, startup ventures, sharing of the best practices and know-how. Kazakhstan, with its strong agricultural foundation, and India, with its technological capital, have a unique opportunity to seize the momentum for sustainable development and address food security challenges of the contemporary world. Another promising area for collaboration is tourism and people-to-people ties. In 2024, the flow of Indian tourists to Kazakhstan increased twofold and overpassed 150,000. This growth can be attributed to the introduction of a 14-day visa-free regime for Indian citizens, as well as the strengthening of direct flight connections between our capitals and major cities. We are ready to support the establishment of a chain of Indian hotels and restaurants in Astana, Almaty, Shymkent, and many other cities. To that end, our government is committed to offer its world-class investment environment to all our partners. Dear friends, under the guidance of President Tokayev, bold reforms are being implemented in my country. Our aim is to diversify the economy, streamline regulation, and promote innovations. We offer competitive tax regimes, investor protection, and dedicated support system for foreign businesses. Since May 2025, my country introduced a new golden visa for foreign nationals who invest at least $300,000 in our economy. Our Astana International Financial Center is yet another unique platform for our engagement. It's just like Gift City, New York, London, Dubai, and Singapore stock exchanges. So I do hope that when you visit our capital, you'll have a good opportunity and chance to visit us at AFC. Before I conclude my remarks, I express my confidence that today's forum and business meetings will pave the way to tangible outcomes and thus to the deepening of our mutually beneficial economic cooperation. And let us not forget that I touched upon only a few topics due to time limits. In essence, our prospects are much wider and the future is much brighter. Last but not the least, I propose to organize the next session of our business forum in Kazakhstan. So with that, I would like to conclude my remark and wish The best of luck and success to all participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, for highlighting the future-oriented partnership with India. And we now request His Excellency Mr. Zenbek Kulubayev, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic, whose leadership has played a pivotal role in strengthening India-Kyrgyzstan cooperation in trade capacity building and development.
Okay. Good evening. Dear Mr. Chairman, dear representatives of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, dear Indian businessmen and partners, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me express my gratitude to my dear friend, Dr. Jaishankar, for the warm welcome and the kind words of greetings addressed to us. It is a great honor for me to be part of this dialogue, which unites not only the states, but also the business of our countries. I am also pleased to welcome my dear brothers and colleagues from the Central Asian countries. It is gratifying to note that we regularly meet at our regional venues and jointly resolve all issues for the benefit of the development of our region. The Central Asian countries maintain a dialogue at the high and highness levels and develop mutually acceptable mechanisms for cooperation on current issues. Disputable and problematic issues are resolved through negotiations, which are clearly demonstrated in the resolution of issues or delimitation and demarcation of borders in Central Asia. The Kyrgyz Republic adheres to the policy that each country in the region, without joint efforts and the interaction to strengthen transport and logistic potential, expand trade and economic ties, and the relationship between ordinary citizens, as well as without joint efforts aimed at maintaining stability and security in the region, cannot independently achieve economic prosperity. Clearly understanding these circumstances, the Central Asian countries are promoting a common policy of development and prosperity for the region by creating joint regional projects. And systematic work is being carried out to maintain stability and security in the region. I would like to highlight some large-scale regional projects, the implementation of which will provide our region with great prospects and opportunities. To develop international transport corridors and the interchanges, Central Asian countries are working on projects such as transport interchanges with access to the ports of the Caspian Sea and Bandar Abbas. These projects are important not only for the region trade, they will become an important component of the multimodal transport corridors. In the energy of information, IT spheres working underway to implement the regional projects CASA 1000, Kambarata HPP1, and the digital CASA. The work carried out by the Central Asian countries in recent years has yielded tangible results. So in the period from 2022 to 2024, the economy of our countries grew annually 4.7%. Agency Standard & Poor's global ratings. Today, our country is one of the threefold of large-scale economic transformation. The President of the Kyrgyz Republic and the Cabinet of Ministers have outlined clear priorities in the area of modernization of the agro-industrial complex, development of infrastructure, diversification of the export, and increase of investment attractiveness. The Kyrgyz Republic pays special attention to the development of the innovation environment in the country. The following large-scale work is being carried out to develop these sectors. reducing barriers for small and medium business working in the innovation sector. For these proposals, an IT park was launched where tax incentives are provided for innovative companies. Public-private partnership. As part of the cooperation, we have begun to develop programs in the field of agrotechnology, renewable energy, and the digitalization of public services. For example, the use of blockchain technologies in land management in Kyrgyzstan allows for the increased transparency and efficiency of process. We are practically interested in the development of digital payment systems and electronic money as they open new opportunities to enhancing financial inclusion. This is practically important, especially considering the significant number of Indian students studying at higher education institutions of the Kyrgyz Republic, as well as the steady interest of Kyrgyz citizens in medical services in India. Dear participants, moving over the prospect of cooperation, I would like to draw attention to some areas that, in my opinion, should be of interest to Indian businessmen. First, trade and export products. The Kyrgyz Republic has a wide range of environmentally friendly products, primarily in the field of agriculture and processing. We are interested in expanding cooperation in such areas as textile and leather production, as well as the export of organic products to the markets of the two countries. We welcome the participation of Indian entrepreneurs in the development of logistic roads, certification mechanisms, and the marketing platforms that will help Kyrgyz producers enter the Indian market with competitive products. Second, investment in green energy and sustainable development. Kyrgyzstan has significant potential in the field of hydropower and solar energy. About 90% of the electricity is produced by hydroelectric power plants. We strive for sustainable development and are interested in attracting green investment in the modernization of existing capacities, the construction of new hydroelectric power plants, and the renewable energy projects, as well as in the development of energy storage system. Third, partnership in the mining industry. Kyrgyzstan has a rich mineral resources base including gold, rare earth metals, and the strategically important resources. We look forward to partnering with Indian companies in developing these resources in a manner that meets the highest standards of environmental and the social responsibility. Fourth, medicine and pharmaceuticals. Today, more than 17,000 students study in medical higher education universities in Kyrgyzstan. We would like to develop not only the field of education, but also projects aimed at improving the healthcare and the pharmaceutical sectors. Dear participants, the history and the culture of the Central Asian and South Asian countries have common deep historical roots. A special place in the system of relations between the region of undoubtedly occupied by the cooperation of the Central Asian countries with India. We are connected not only by the history of Great Silk Road, but also by common interests in the development of trade, technology, and security. I would like to emphasize that the Central Asian countries have built a strategic partnership with India, which demonstrated the interests of our countries in cooperation in all areas of interaction. The Central Asian India Dialogue Platform, created in 2019, once again confirms that commitment and the readiness of the countries to develop and strengthen cooperation on a regional scale. During the operation of the platform, the trade turnover between the countries increased from $2 billion to $3.5 billion, which is not significant. There is a great potential between the countries, and we are confident that participation in such forums will contribute to the exchange of experiences, finding common ground in building connections and bridges for future cooperation between the governments and the business communities of the participating countries. Tomorrow, level of ministers will be an opportunity to discuss in detail the prospects of cooperation between the countries. Dear participants, dear friends, government of countries create conditions and the rules for promoting trade and economic cooperation. Namely, businessmen and companies are the engines of the economy of a country and even entire region. In conclusion, I would like to note that Kyrgyz Republic strives to be part of the global movement, joining forces with our partners in the region, the world, and is ready to mutually beneficial and effective cooperation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Excellency, for your address. And may I now request His Excellency Mr. Serozuddin Muhiruddin, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan.
Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to extend my sincere appreciation to my esteemed colleague, Dr. Jaishankar, and to Mr. Sankar, Vice President of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, for creating an excellent environment for the success of today's gathering. We firmly believe that this event will support our joint efforts to strengthen mutually beneficial cooperation and to advance the goals and objectives set by the leaders of our countries during the first India-Central Asia Summit. At the moment, around 80 joint ventures with Indian participation are registered in Tajikistan and are actively engaged in energy, pharmaceutical, and healthcare sectors. To further support this growing collaboration, we organized the International Forum, India-Tajikistan Pharma Business Meet, held in July 2024 in Dushanbe. The event brought together a large number of companies from both countries and served as an effective platform for deepening business engagement and exploring new opportunities in the pharmaceutical and healthcare sectors. I would like also to highlight our mutually beneficial cooperation in the field of education. Today, over 2,500 Indian students are enrolled in medical universities across Tajikistan, contributing to stronger people-to-people ties and fostering long-term collaboration in healthcare and academia. We also have good examples of collaboration in hospitality and service sectors. Indian company CHL Limited has constructed and continues to operate a 5-star hotel in Dushanbe, marking one of the first major private investments by India in Tajikistan. At the same time, I would like to emphasize that there are many other areas where new opportunities for Indian companies exist and are warmly welcomed. I invite you to explore emerging prospects in the industrial sector. In 2018, the government of Tajikistan declared rapid industrialization as its fourth strategic goal and introduced special plans and incentives to support this objective. India has extensive experience and proven potential in industrialization, having previously pursued similar strategic goals. Therefore, exchanging views and best practices on industrial development, as well as establishing joint industrial ventures and companies, would be highly beneficial for both our countries. To support this objective, the government of Tajikistan has conducted a comprehensive geological survey across the country, leading to the discovery of numerous new deposits of non-ferrous and ferrous metals, rare and precious metals, precious and decorative stones, construction materials, chemicals, and other minerals. Processing of local cotton, leather, wool, and cocoons, alongside the efficient use of existing capacities, job creation, and strengthening the production of export-oriented goods are actively incentivized in Tajikistan. Currently, there are 18 spinning mills in Tajikistan with a combined capacity exceeding 80,000 tons of cotton fiber processing annually. Taking this opportunity, I am pleased to inform you that from July 8 to 10, 2025, the government of Tajikistan will host the International Textile Forum, Threads of Cooperation. Tajikistan connects the textile world. The forum will focus on the development of the textile and apparel industry, providing a valuable platform for connecting businesses and showcasing Tajikistan's potential as a promising center for textile manufacturing and innovation. The forthcoming International Textile Forum will provide an excellent platform for participants to engage in meaningful dialogue and explore new perspectives and opportunities for cooperation, not only with partners from Tajikistan, but also from across Central Asia. Therefore, I warmly invite all distinguished participants to actively attend the International Textile Forum taking place from July 8 to 10 this year in Dushanbe. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Excellency, for highlighting various areas where India and Tajikistan can further explore and work together. Now inviting His Excellency Mr. Rashid Meheradbov, the Deputy Chairman of the Cabinet of Ministers and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkmenistan.
Your Excellency, Minister of External Affairs of India, Honorable Dr. Jaishankar, esteemed Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the Central Asian states, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by expressing my gratitude to the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry for the invitation and the excellent organization of this forum. For Turkmenistan, as one of the Central Asian countries, participation in trade and economic partnerships with India is of paramount importance. We are well aware of India's level of economic and technological development and the opportunities that the cooperation with Indian companies presents. Turkmenistan proceeds from the understanding that the countries of our region and India possess significant economic potential, and their convergence can have a transformative impact on their entire framework of interstate interaction. In the long term, this partnership can become one of the main pillars of cooperation between Central and South Asia, opening the way to long-term integration processes in such sectors as the trade, transport, energy, industry, and many others. Accordingly, in planning its foreign economic cooperation strategy, Turkmenistan regards the Republic of India as a mere and promising partner, an essential participant in shaping a new, more modern and effective geo-economic architecture on the Asian continent. In this context, we consider it necessary to define concrete plans for investment cooperation. We advocate for the more active involvement of Indian investors in the construction of energy, transport and logistics infrastructure in Central Asia. The flagship project in this regard is the Tapi gas pipeline, which we view as a first step and prototype of future comprehensive and systemic cooperation in this sector, with the potential involvement of other countries in our region. We also see investment opportunities in joint transport and logistics projects, which fully align with current initiatives to establish South-North transit corridors. We are convinced of the benefits of Indian partners participating in these efforts. In this context, there are promising prospects for creating connecting routes between the Caspian Sea and Indian seaports. Turkmenistan supports the expansion of trade relations between Central Asia and India. It must be frankly acknowledged that the current volume of trade remains insufficient and does not reflect the existing potential. We attach great importance to the activities of the Central Asia-India Business Council. The experience and framework established under this council must now be actively utilized and expanded. We believe it is advisable to identify specific cooperation areas focusing on viable and near-term joint projects in various fields. For Turkmenistan, as a dynamic and modern country, innovative cooperation has become a strategic priority in recent years. In this area, too, we see India as a promising partner. We would like to initiate systematic collaboration in high technologies, artificial intelligence, and explore India's experience in building digital platforms. My brother and colleague Minister of External Affairs mentioned about it during his speech. In this regard, we express particular interest in partnering with Indian specialists in urban development, especially in terms of smart city technologies and urban planning, which is progressing rapidly in our country. One of the successful examples of our cooperation between Turkmenistan and India, is in healthcare and pharmaceuticals. Recognizing India's strengths in these areas, we see clear opportunities to expand this partnership, particularly through the use of Turkmenistan's unique flora for the development of new medical products and medicines. Dear participants, Turkmenistan pursues an open-door economic policy and is ready to provide the most favorable conditions for Indian companies to operate. Today, our countries have the necessary potential to give strong impetus to bilateral relations and to successfully integrate them into multilateral cooperation involving neighboring states and regions. I hope that this meeting will become a valuable contribution for the growth and advancement of our economic cooperation and will serve as a foundation for bold, breakthrough, joint initiatives and solutions. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency. And now requesting His Excellency Mr. Bakhtiyor Saidov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
Honorable Dr. Jaishankar, honorable colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, namaste. On behalf of the Uzbek delegation, I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome to all participants of the India Central Asia Business Council. I'm sincerely delighted to be once again in dynamic New Delhi, the capital of the incredible India. We would like to express gratitude to the Minister of External Affairs and the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the initiative and organizing this important meeting and for the warm hospitality extended to our delegation. I'm pleased to note that the presence of the heads of large enterprises and companies from the countries of Central Asia and India in this hall creates a solid foundation for mutually beneficial partnership. There is no doubt that this kind of representative composition is a key of success of this forum and new economic endeavors. Uzbekistan attaches great importance to intensifying cooperation with the countries of Central Asia and India and bringing it to new qualitative level. In current conditions, our partnership acquires not only natural but strategically important character. The heads of our states have instructed all public authorities to work tirelessly on strengthening our multifaceted cooperation, including creating favorable conditions to support joint business initiatives. This is the purpose of our regular meetings. The joint potential of India and Central Asia countries is not only an opportunity for mutual growth, but also the prospect of establishing a new hub for sustainable development and global power in the 21st century. Dear participants of the forum, the Uzbekistan 2030 strategy, introduced under the leadership of the President of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, in many respects closely aligns with the Prime Minister, His Excellency Narendra Modi's vision for the developed India 2047 initiative, which aspires to promote comprehensive national progress. This gives us ample opportunity to join our efforts in developing our countries and searching for areas of growth for investment, trade, and economic partnership which will benefit our peoples. Thanks to our ongoing policy of openness and active attraction of the capital, Uzbekistan's economy continues to grow steadily. Our country is one of the few to have seen dynamic and consistent GDP growth of 6.5%. There is rapid development underway across multiple sectors of the economy, including manufacturing, agriculture, energy, pharmaceuticals, the automotive industry, chemicals, oil and gas, and food production, electrical engineering, and tourism. Uzbekistan continues to provide active support to investors at state level. In 2024, just for example, the volume of foreign investment increased by a factor of 1.6 and totaled over 32 billion USD. According to our estimates, this figure will exceed 42 billion USD this year. We are convinced that the recently enacted bilateral investment agreement between Uzbekistan and India will further accelerate progress in this area. There is ample scope of augment the volume of bilateral trade and diversify the structure of trade turnover. We are ready to increase exports of agricultural products, textiles, electrical goods, construction materials, chemicals, and mineral fertilizers to India, as well as from India to Uzbekistan. The implementation of joint investment projects in these areas is promising. The intensification of cooperation in IT technologies, telecommunications, pharmaceuticals, medicine, and urban development should be considered as growth areas. A critically important factor for the further growth of our partnership is our joint efforts to enhance connectivity and establish trade routes. The launch of new transport corridors will significantly improve the efficiency of not only bilateral, but also regional supply chains. A vivid example of practical efforts in this direction was the launch of container transportation along a new multimodal route connecting India and Uzbekistan in August last year. From the Indian ports of Mundra, Nhava and Chennai, cargo is delivered to Uzbekistan via the Iranian port of Bandar Abbas within 15-20 days. There is great potential to further reduce delivery time. Uzbekistan is ready to actively work in this direction. The Trans-Afghan corridor with access to the Indian Ocean represents great potential for us. It will become the shortest transport route between Central and South Asia. The further development and integration of this route with other corridors appears promising, as it will ensure uninterrupted interregional transport connectivity and boost the dynamics of trade and economic exchange. Dear colleagues, taking this opportunity, I would like to invite the companies and entrepreneurs from India to Uzbekistan to actively and closely establish long-term cooperation with the Uzbek side and Central Asia. Our delegation has also prepared a number of promising investment projects for implementation with business communities from both sides. Of course, this collaboration and cooperation should be win-win and mutually beneficial cooperation for both sides. In our turn, we look forward to receiving new and large-scale business initiatives from your side in return. I hope to see you all, dear friends and participants of this forum, at the 4th Tashkent International Investment Forum, which has become a key platform for discussing issues of regional and international trade and economic cooperation, which will be held just in coming days in Uzbekistan, in the capital city of Tashkent. Let me express strong confidence that this major regional event will also serve as a gateway to new opportunities for the further development of mutually beneficial partnership. The hospitable Uzbekistan also looks forward to welcoming you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, for your address. In fact, thank you, Excellency, for your address. In fact, thanking all our honorable ministers for their guidance and further reinforcing their long-term commitment for a connected, stable, and a more prosperous Indo-Central Asian region. Thank you. And to express our sincere appreciation to all our dignitaries, may I request now Mr. Vipul Tuli, the Chair, FICCI Renewable Energy CEOs Committee and Executive Director, UK Semcor Industries, to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks.
Excellencies, honored guests and diplomats, industry colleagues. Our deepest gratitude, first of all, goes to our honorable ministers from the Central Asian countries for gracing this occasion and sharing their valuable insights. Your presence here today, along with your business delegations to India, speaks volumes about Central Asian countries' strong intent to strengthen economic ties. We are confident that the partnerships forged during this visit will translate into meaningful commercial outcomes in the months ahead. I would like to also extend my sincere thanks to Dr. S. Jaishankar ji, Honorable Minister of External Affairs for India, for his insightful address, which has provided an inspiring roadmap for advancing India-Central Asia economic cooperation. Your description of the 3 objectives and the 5 high potential areas of collaboration has laid the groundwork for deeper engagement between our business communities. These areas and others have been echoed by the foreign ministers of the Central Asian countries. I would also like to express my gratitude to my colleague Subrakant for his valuable insights, which effectively captured the essence of today's conversations. A special word of gratitude to the Ministry of External Affairs for organizing this forum. Their consistent support has been instrumental in deepening India-Central Asia economic ties, and my sincere appreciation also to the ambassadors from the Central Asian countries and our own heads of mission in Central Asia for their invaluable support in ensuring the success of this event. Finally, I would like to thank all our distinguished guests, industry leaders, and business delegates for their active participation and valuable contributions. Your presence here today reflects the shared commitment of both and many nations to fostering deeper economic engagement. As a secretariat for the India-Central Asia Business Forum and the India-Central Asia Business Council, FICCI remains committed to working with stakeholders from Central Asian countries to translate today's discussions into tangible outcomes. We look forward to facilitating continued dialogues, building stronger partnerships, and driving sustainable growth for businesses across India and the Central Asian countries. On a personal note, may I add, as chair of FICCI's Renewable Energy CEOs Committee, that there are meaningful opportunities that exist for collaboration between your countries and India in the field of renewable energy. India has been able to create renewable energy project development and equipment manufacturing capacity at world scale and world quality. And we'd be delighted to engage with you on areas of mutual benefit. Let us build on the momentum created today to expand trade, unlock new business opportunities, and pave the way for a more prosperous future for all our nations. I wish the governments all the best for the India-Central Asia Business Dialogue tomorrow as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tuli. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude this special session, the ministerial session, thanking once again all our honorable ministers and dignitaries. Thank you.